Hey there guys, so today I wanted to talk about my coming out story. Now I know it's not going to be as popular or as fun as Tom Daly's or as surprising since everybody knows I'm already gay, but I mean his wasn't that surprising either. Nonetheless, I wanted to tell you guys the story, so here it goes. So the first person that I told that I was gay was my friend Tamara. We were sitting on my front porch, she was waiting for her parents to pick her up, and I just said it. I'm like, hey Tamara, I actually think I'm gay. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, maybe I'm bi. And she's like, what? And I'm like, you know what? Never mind. And then she left it at that. Didn't say anything. So thank you, Tamara, because that was already an awkward situation for me. Second person I told was my sister. So that night, my mom and my sister came to pick me up from my friends, who was also gay, but at the time they didn't know that at all. And when I was walking towards the car, I looked so nervous and so scared because I felt that they could read me. Like, I felt like I just had gay written on my forehead. And so when I got in the car, they were like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, like leave me alone. And I was getting mad and I was getting angry because I was so uncomfortable. So when I got home, I ran straight to my room and I stayed there. Later that night, my sister comes into my room and she's like, hey, Brad, what's up? Like, something's wrong. And I kept denying it. I'm like, nothing's wrong. And she's like, are you doing drugs? Because you have to tell me and you have to stop. And at that point, I'm like, well, shoot. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Obviously, I'm not doing drugs. And I'm like, no. And she's like, are you gay? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, that's not a big deal, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then after that, it was fine. The third person I told was actually my best friend, Adriana. She should have been the first person I told, but life works in weird ways. Like, for some reason, I have a ginger beard. But I love it. When I told her, from what I remember, it was at school and she did not want to talk to me for a while. And that crushed me. This was my best friend. I dated her for 2 months. Like, I loved this girl. She didn't want to talk to me. So at that point, I'm just like, what do I do? Like, if this is the way my best friend acts, how am I supposed to tell my mom? Later that day, I found out that Adriana just wanted some time to think about it. She never wanted to put me in that situation. She is still my best friend. I love her to death. And that's it, fine after that. The fourth person I tell is my mom. And as you can imagine, my head is racing, my heart is pounding. I'm almost in tears, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I don't know what she's going to say. I'm sitting at my bar, and my mom's in the kitchen, and I figured, I know if I just sit here for a while, in silence, she'll just ask, what's up? So I sat there for a bit, and like I said, she was like, hey, something wrong? And I just said it. I'm like, hey mom, I think I'm gay. And she's like, you think? And I'm like, no, I know. I said that because at the time I didn't want her to have any hopes that maybe her son's still straight. Maybe her son will still have a normal life. So I just said, no mom, I'm actually gay. And then she said, how do you know? And in my head, I'm thinking, shoot, like I just told you, don't question me right now, like I'm still scared. How do you know you're gay? Have you done anything with the girl? And I'm like, no. How do you know then, Brad? How do you know? And I'm like, well, how do you know you're straight? She thought for a second. She's like, okay, well, doesn't matter, I still love you. It's not gonna change anything. That was it. She gave me a hug. And yeah. For a couple of days, I felt like things were a little awkward in the car just because neither of us knew what to say or what to do. But maybe a week later, it was all good, it was fine, it was normal. If anything, it was even better. Come grade 12, I'm still in the closet to everyone, but out to the people I mentioned and a couple other people. And I'm a huge fan of One Girl 5 Gays on MTV, and I guess Logo in America. And I see a tweet from One Girl 5 Gays saying, hey, we're looking for high school students that would like to be on the show. So if you live nearby, please send in your application and we'll get back to you. And at this point, I wasn't out, but I was acting exactly the same as I would had I been. And I knew that this was the industry that I wanted to be in. I thought, hey, this is the best networking opportunity you have at the moment. So I sent in my email with a picture saying I would love to be a part of it. Got an email back a day later saying, hey, we would like you to come in for an audition. So a week later, I tell my mom that I'm going to visit my sister in Toronto. Hop on a bus, go to Toronto, do the audition, come home that night. Mom doesn't know. A couple weeks later, I get an email asking if I could come back in for my second audition. So again, I go to my mom and I'm like, hey, can I go visit Monty? And my mom's like, on a Tuesday? You have school tomorrow. No. I'm like, Mom, I want to go visit my sister. She's like, no, Brad, you have school tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, Mom, actually I auditioned for a show called One Girl, Five Gays, and I got a call back. I really need to go. She's like, Brad, tell me these things. Like, you have to tell me. I don't care. Yes, go ahead, have fun. I go to the callback, everything went well, I came home, and then maybe a month later, I get a call from my mom. She puts me on speakerphone, and I hear the producer of One Girl, Five Gays on the other line saying, we would like Brad to be on the show. Do you think that's fine? And I'm freaking out. I'm in my car, waiting for the bridge to come back down. And I'm excited. My heart is racing. I'm smiling from one ear to the other. And I'm like, yes, Mom, yes, please do it, please do it. And she said, yes, we would love to. And that was it. That night, I posted on Facebook, new cast member of One Girl, Five Gays, high school edition. And I knew that every single like I got on that status, it was another person that knew I was gay. And I was okay with it. I was happy. It felt like there was weights lifted off my shoulders. I've never felt something so liberating, and I wouldn't take it back for the world. So I go back to school the next day, and I'm sure there are people talking. I'm sure there are people asking questions to my friends. But the only thing people said to me was, congratulations, Brad, for getting on the show. And I said, thank you. Thanks. I'm excited. And with coming out, I was on cloud nine. I was going to Toronto Pride. I was meeting new people. But at this point in time, I didn't have a core group of gay friends. I didn't actually have any gay friends at the time. Almost every weekend, I would come to Toronto and visit my sister just to get out of Niagara Falls. So one Saturday, I was at my sister's apartment. She had already gone out, and I tweeted, bored in Toronto, this should be a sin, because I still had no gay friends. And I got a tweet from this guy named David saying, hey, would you like to come out with my friends and I? We're going to a bar, and we'll introduce you to the new scene. And I said, yeah, of course, I would love that. So it was probably stupid of me at 17 years old going to meet some random person on the corner of a street to go to a bar. But I did, because I loved meeting new people, and I was naive and stupid. Luckily, it worked out in my favor. We go to this pre-drink, and the boys there are so nice, are so friendly, are so welcoming, except one. His name was Anthony, and he didn't really like me. But I tried my hardest to be kind and to be liked by everyone. So that night, I made a best friend. His name is Ben. And after that weekend, I would stop visiting my sister and visit Ben all the time. That summer, we went to the beach every single weekend, and it was a blast. And then one day, Anthony comes along, we start talking, and he becomes my other best friend. So I have two best friends. And from that, I meet other people, and I'm right now so happy to have the group of friends that I have, to have met the people that I've met, and I'm just happy. I'm happy to have come out. It's been the best time of my life. Now I know my story isn't bad and that I was accepted by everyone, and I'm extremely fortunate for that. But for the people that are scared and that are still not out, you have to know that it honestly does get better after this. And I know that sounds cheesy at this point because everyone says it gets better, but it honestly gets better. I've never been happier in my life. I've never been closer with my sister, with my mom, with my aunts, with my cousins, with my uncles, with my friends. It's just easier. I love my life at this point, and it would not be the same had I stayed in the closet. You couldn't imagine. I would never want to be straight at this point. I love being gay. So I want everyone to know who's not out and that is watching this video, and even if it's one or two people, that if you're scared, fight that fear, because it will change your life. And if there are people, which there might be, who are not accepting of it, well then you know what, they don't deserve to be in your life anyways. And on that note, I think I'm gonna end this video. So I wanna say thank you for watching, and if you liked it, please give a big thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe. And that's it for me. Bye guys. Look at